All right. Can you guys see me? I want you to comment if you can see me. All right. Can you guys see me? Okay. All right. So I'll wait 2 minutes to see if anybody else comes in the live. Okay, perfect. All right. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Kay. As you can see, I'm about to go to bed. It's been a long day. But I'm about to just do this live about dealing with burnout in healthcare. This is a topic that you guys want to talk about. So I think it's very important because I think a lot of people have been dealing with just working really hard, probably being short-staffed. And, literally everyone I know that's working in healthcare is just very burnt out at the moment. So I think this is a very important topic. And a lot of times we don't talk about it. And I feel like a lot of people suffer silently. They don't know who to go to, and they feel like it's their fault that they're burning out. They look like a crazy person or whatnot. But, I just wanted to talk about that topic. So I want you guys to put in the comments how you're dealing with burnout. And I have a few things that I wanted to go over. Let's see. I took some notes. I was going to write like drop like a cute little presentation, but I really didn't have the time. So I have some notes on my phone. Let's see. Okay, so first of all, I want you guys to remember 3 things when it comes to work and, just working in medicine. First of all, life is short, okay? So you only get one life. And I think a lot of times we make our jobs our life, okay? And hold on, this lighting is a little weird. Yeah, so we make our jobs our life, and it's really not. Like, there's so many other things that you guys have going on that you should focus on. You can't just make your job your life. You have to make time for your family and your friends and your loved ones. And sometimes we don't do that because in healthcare, there's this narrative that it's all about the patients. And if you guys work in healthcare, you know that when you're at work, your problems don't matter anymore. It's really all about the patients. And, you really have to choose yourself and know that life is really short. Anything can happen at any time. I mean, tomorrow's not guaranteed for any of us. So I think it's very, very important to remember that even when you're caring for other people. Okay. And, just enjoy your life. Like for me, that's a mindset that I have right now, because I really feel like, okay, tomorrow, I don't know if, I'll wake up. None of us know that. And, with everything going on, you just never know. You got to spend time with the people you love. And you always have a choice. That's the second thing that I want you guys to remember. Okay. So you don't have to go into work and stress out. Like literally, when I worked as a tech, when I went into work, I had the mindset that, I'm going into a storm. Okay, so I worked as a flow tech. So really, I had the mindset that anything could happen and I'm going into a storm. So I just prepared mentally. I listened to music in my car, and I would, just do stuff like to mentally prepare for work. And, I would go into work with the mindset that, what, they're paying me to do this job, and I'm just going to do the best I can. I'm not going to kill myself doing it. I'm not going to overly stress or anything like that. I'm just going to do the best I can. If I go into work and there's only 2 techs on the floor, I'm just going to do my part. I'm not going to start complaining and going crazy, because what's really the point of doing that? There's no point. It's not going to make it any better. So I think it's very important to, just go into work with the mindset of, I'm just going to go in and do the best that I can. I really try my best to prioritize. Okay, so if I go into work and it's just me and another person, I look at my schedule, the list, and I'm like, okay, I have 5 total care patients. So guess what? I'm probably going to spend most of the night on those patients, right? So I'm going to do the best I can. I'm going to bathe those patients, throughout the night. And sometimes those 5 patients may take up most of your time. So that's who you got to focus on. And the other patients, not that you should ignore them, but they may not get your attention as much as those other 5 patients. So, definitely prioritize and see what's important. You don't have to get everything done. And it's really impossible to get everything done. So definitely make sure that you go in and focus on what's the most important thing that you should be doing, and just do that. And also just remember that stress kills. A lot of people die from stress every single year. Okay. And it's not just something that just happens all at once. If you're an EMT, you learned about eustress and distress. Okay. So let me spell that out for you guys. Okay. So eustress is like the good stress. It's the stress that keeps you going. It's the stress that makes you just like be productive. That's like the productive stress. Now, distress is when you're overly stressed and it builds up and it's just not healthy. So you want to definitely make sure that you don't let your stress get the best of you, and that you're really taking time out for yourself and you're practicing self-care. It's very, very important. And sometimes it is hard to separate work from your personal life. But I think that's something that's very, very important, because, when you go into work and you have to like kick your problems to the side to deal with your patient's problems, your employer's problems, and you got to do all this stuff, there's no way you can really function in life if you're taking all that stress home. Like, there's nothing wrong with, talking to your family members and just, talking about what's going on at work or whatever. But I feel like when it gets to a point where that's all you're talking about, is very unhealthy. You may get like chest palpitations, and, it could just get really bad. Some people get heart attacks eventually when they're letting their stress get the best of them. So you really have to practice self-care and just making sure that you're doing what's best for you. Okay. If you can't work, that extra day, don't do it. Sometimes you got to just do what's best for you. And, if you have to take a day off, like a mental break or a physical break, then just do what you got to do. And that's very, very important. And I also talked about compassion fatigue in one of my past videos. So you guys could definitely check that out. That's a video that I think at the time I felt like I was experiencing that. So that's why I did that video. But I'll put the link below for you guys to look at that. And, what are the symptoms of burnout? So usually when you're mentally and physically exhausted, that's a sign of burnout. Sometimes people think it's just a physical thing, but it's a mental thing also. And that accompanied with compassion fatigue, you probably don't have that much compassion for your patients. I've seen nurses like all excited about becoming nurses, and they're happy that they finally can say RN behind their name. But then a couple of months later, or a few years later, I just see them turn to a completely different person, very stressed out, don't care as much. And I think immediately, like, we judge those people and we think that they don't care, or they're lazy or whatever. But sometimes they're dealing with compassion fatigue, and people don't have compassion for them when they're going through that. So, you definitely have to really control that before it gets to that point. That's why I always say to practice self-care. And people don't talk about I'm going to write it because I can't say it. Oop, okay, so YouTube blocked it. Okay, so people don't talk about the S rates. If you guys, let me see, I can't even write it anywhere. YouTube blocked my comment, but people suffer from stress until it leads to S, and you guys know what that means. But a lot of healthcare workers, especially people in medical school, people don't talk about the fact that the S rates for medical school is higher than people really think it is. So you got to really just be careful with that, because you can really suffer in silence and no one will know about it because you're expected to be strong in healthcare. So you have to know the signs and make sure that, if you see anyone else that's exhibiting those signs, that you're, showing compassion to that person or encouraging them to take a break or inviting them out somewhere. So that's very, very important. Hold on. Okay. And let's see, what else? And also, you got to remember that you're not superhuman, you're not superwoman, superman, because I think that's what a lot of healthcare workers think. They think they can handle everything. And sometimes, like when you ask for help, it just seems like you're weak. But that's really the farthest thing from the truth, because we see, like, during these times, everyone need healthcare workers. Like, they're the backbone of this country right now. So, never be afraid to ask for help if you really need it, because you can't take on all this by yourself. And, another thing that you guys have to consider is, if your job is getting to the point where it's unbearable, maybe you need to switch careers. And sometimes it seems like you're giving up, but I don't think that's true at all. I think that sometimes that's just what you have to do to be happy. And when you finally make that decision, you're going to be super excited. You're like, okay, why didn't I do this a long time ago? Okay, so just make sure that, if you need to change careers, that's, if you got to do that, just do that. And, you have to give yourself permission to do what you love. So if there's something else that you really love and that's in your heart that you want to do, I feel like it's very important to do those things, because, like I said, life is short. And if you don't give yourself permission to do that and you're constantly working at a job you do not like, of course you're going to be burned out. So it's very important to, just really think about your passions and things that you want to do. I mean, I have like my little journal here. So I write down every single thing that I want to do in my life in this journal. And I just really check off on the list. Some things don't happen when I wanted to, but for me to really feel fulfilled in life, that's something that, I have to do. I have to make sure that I'm writing everything down and I'm accomplishing my dreams, and I'm not doing something that I don't love while I could be pursuing other things. Okay, so that's, very, very important. And also, I want to mention that, once you lose your mind, like, you really have nothing left. And that's very, very important, because I don't think people realize how important having a good mindset is. Like, when you lose your mind, you lose everything. Like, you can go into a storm, and if you have the right mindset, you'll be okay. But if you go into work and your mind is just all messed up and you're just dealing with too much and you're letting it get the best of you, there's no way you can handle all that. You can't handle your stress, everything that's going on your mind, and deal with other people. Sometimes you have to, like, take a step back and make sure that, you're getting your mind right. Okay, so, one thing that I want you guys to do after you watch this video is to write down what is stressing you out. Like, because sometimes we know that we're stressed, but we don't know why we're stressed. Okay, we really, haven't took the time to think about why we're stressed. So I think it's very important to just write down why you're stressed. And also remember that you do have control. Sometimes you think that you don't. You think that you have to stay at a job you don't like. Sometimes you think that, sometimes you can work things out at work, but you choose not to because you're like, okay, that's just the way it is. But I really think that we have more control than we actually think that we have. So really, I want you guys to write down what is stressing you out. What is the source of your stress? And then I also want you to write down what you can do about it. Like, what can I do about this thing that's stressing me out? You always have control. So definitely do that and think about what you can do in the future to alleviate that stress. I'm not a therapist, but that's what I do. If something's stressing me out, I'm like, okay, what's the reason this is like irritating me so badly? And sometimes it's a deeper reason. Sometimes it's not the surface level stuff that we think it is. Sometimes it's something deeper. Sometimes you're not doing what you love, and that's affecting the way you're really thinking about it. All right, so that's really it. That's what I want to go over today. If you guys have any questions, I'll wait a little bit and then I'll end the live. But also, I wanted to mention that I will be doing some YouTube videos at the end of next week because I'm just really busy. So stay tuned for those videos. And I'll just wait and see if you guys have any question, and then I'll end the live and go to sleep. All right, you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and end this video. I'm just going to go to sleep now. But I want you guys to, practice self-care and just make sure that you're doing the things that you love. Life is very short. Stress kills. And just make sure that you're just living the life that you want to live. Like, you do have a choice. And, if you have something that you want to do, just do it now. Like, life is very short and you just won't have the time in the future. Time passes by very quickly. So don't let this stress overcome you. I know it's really hard sometimes, but just go into work with the mindset that, you got this. You're just going to do the best you can, nothing less, nothing more. And, just don't kill yourself on the job, just do the best you can do. All right, so that's it for my live, you guys. Thank you guys for watching. I'll put this on YouTube on the playback so you guys can see if you missed it. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.